Hello everybody and welcome back to Conor here, all Leeds TV, and we are back with your Reading preview. Yes, it's a quick turnaround when it's a Saturday and a Tuesday game. The team try and get everything out as quick as possible. If you haven't already, make sure you check all the lads' previews out. Alongside that, Joe did a Sunday night live stream where he was talking everything Leeds United for an hour and 20 minutes. So make sure you go check that one out. It was a really good piece of content, and we're going to try evolve what we're doing as well. Try freshen things up for you guys. As I've said multiple times, it is just all about time. But let's get into it anyway. Leeds off the back of an amazing win at the weekend down at Luton. Amazing, maybe a little bit exaggerating a little bit down there, but I really enjoyed the performance. I thought from moment 1 to moment 90, really, we were dominant, completely dominant. I mean, they weren't in it until, a 10, 15 minute spell, which they had, which was good for them. Obviously, they got the goal in that spell. A little bit disappointed from us, to be quite frank, for them having that 10-minute spell and being able to maintain their position within the game. That was pretty poor from us. I don't think we managed it that well. But listen, overall, we played really, really well, and I think I was a lot more excited about it because I did expect us to lose. I thought it was going to be a Millwall-esque, Charlton-esque, QPR-esque, Birmingham-esque away performance. I thought it was going to be one of those where we got physically imposed and beaten on the day, but we didn't. We stood tall and we played our game. And for a 10-minute spell, we did get drawn into theirs, but then we recovered really, really nicely, and we did the job down at Luton, which some teams will do, but you'll get Luton taking the heads of a lot of teams down there this season. Don't get me wrong. There'll be a lot of away defeats for Luton, but home wins and home draws, I think they'll do all right down there. But anyway, now we move on. It'd be interesting to see if Leeds did stay down there. I presume they did, obviously, with now facing Reading. Now, what do we say about Reading? I mean, I really like Reading, weirdly. I really like how Reading play football. They're a good team. They're a really good team. They've got a good fabric down there. And if they had a decent manager, let's say if they had a Bielsa, I genuinely believe they'd be challenging for promotion. I really do. They're a really good outfit. And they can't be taken lightly at all. I do think it's going to be a tougher game than Luton. Why? Because I think they're going to come out. I really do. I think Luton were defensively resolute. And their only real outlet was Izzy Brown, and when he went off, they were in trouble. But I think Reading, the likes of Ajaria, John Swift, I really think they're going to be coming at Leeds, and we've got to be expecting that. We've got to be expecting the high press. We've got to be expecting our passing to be crisp and on point, because if it's not, they're going to nick it off us. It's not going to be the same game as last year when Jose Gomez was there. I think Bowen's got him into a very structured routine, playing the same way, but he's given him a few little extra ideas, which I'm going to go through today. Anyway, so the main player, John Swift. We all know about John Swift. On his day, he can be a Premier League player for me. He's excellent on the ball. He's very nifty, close control. Very, very good in tight situations, and I think the Championship really appreciate John Swift as one of those top players, and we've got to keep a massive eye on him. Now, where does he play? That's going to be the question. Is it going to be the 10? Is it going to be the 8? But since Bowen's come in, he's changed. He's reverted it up. He's put Ajaria in the 10, and he's put Swift in the 8, which could cause a few problems for Leeds, because Swift's been doing well in the 8 as well. Now, what would you do there? Would you make Click? Would you forsake Click to man mark him if they're coming on the counter-attack against Leeds United? Or, if he's in the 10, it's a little bit more self-explanatory, isn't it? It's going to be Calvin. But I think when we've had Click sort of having to man mark players or having Click follow players, I don't think he's as defensively resolute as maybe a Calvin Phillips, obviously, or maybe as an Adam Forshaw. I think Phillips and Forshaw would have been perfect in this game, with the likes of Ajaria, with the likes of Swift likely to start in their formation. So, Click's going to have to step up big time tonight, because when they're on the counter-attack, they've got a lot of players who come forward. They've got obviously playing the 3-5-2 formation, and they've got wing backs as well who come into the 4, and we've got to keep a serious eye on this side. They're a good team. They are a really good team. They've got players who can hurt you, and going on a 3-game unbeaten run, especially a 3-game winning run in the Championship is seriously impressive for any side. Leeds have done extremely well, but we know in the Championship any team can beat you on any given day. So we have got to keep, it's not one of those because I think we are the better side. I think the Championship would see. I think Reading fans would see us as the better side, but we cannot go into this game complacent. We cannot go into this game thinking that we're going to win it just because we're Leeds United and the 16 places separating us. I think it's a bit naive. But yeah, they play the same way as they did when Jose Gomez was in, and obviously when Leeds United went down there and peppered them 3-0, should have been 7. Obviously that was the game where Reading fans were asking for Leeds to pass it to Patrick Bamford because he just kept missing. So obviously, touch wood, it's not going to be the same this game. Yeah, they play the same way, but Bowen, as I've talked about with the Jaria and Swift, he's just changed it up a little bit. And what I like as well with what he's done is now Miazga, the American, and Moore are the more passing of the back three, which, would fit into a Bielsa system. With 3 at the back, they've got Morrison, who's the most traditional sort of sweeper defender, who's at the base of that 3. Then on either side, you've got Miazga and you've got Moore, who are more ball-playing centre-halves. They're a good team, as I keep saying. So we move a little bit further forward. And before we get a bit further forward, we'll talk about the injury that they sustained. Obviously, Andy Yiddim, ex-Barnsley sort of wing-back, he's been a feature for them, since last season, really. And he's a key asset in this 3-5-2 formation. So him being missing through suspension, that's big. That is a big, big loss for Reading. And, they'll appreciate that as well. And they've also got, when you move further forward, I really like the 2 up front who they've been playing as well, obviously. Puskas, he's getting a lot of interest, and he started the season really well, sort of 3 quick goals in quick succession, a couple of worldies as well, and you were thinking he's going to kick on this season. Reading are going to kick on this season because we know they've got the attributes to be able to do that. It's just whether or not they can sustain it. Doesn't look like they're able to do that. It's going to be another sort of bottom, potentially relegation battle again for Reading, but Puskas, if he hits form, he's got that quality. You look at Besiktas, you look at Fenerbahce, who are potentially interested in the guy. This isn't someone who we take lightly. This isn't someone who we take lightly at all. And supplemented by Sam Baldock, who I really, really, really like. I've always liked him since he was at Brighton. He's a bit of a bulldog, bit of a Yorkshire Terrier. He'll just do the graft. He'll maintain that high press. The good thing for Leeds United is I think he sustained a hamstring at the weekend, so it's very, very likely that Lucas João, ex-Sheffield Wednesday, is going to be coming into the fray this Tuesday night. So with Gunter coming in as well for Yiddim, they do lose a little bit of pace up the wing. They do lose that a little bit of dynamism going up the wing as well. But we have seen this Reading side before. There's not that much difference to when we last played them. I do think that 10 and that 8 move around with Swift and Ajaria could cause a few problems for Leeds United, especially if Swift is in that 8 position, because I think that's going to take a lot of Matthias Klick to be able to, man mark him, with Klick doing the job on Ajaria. But listen, 16 places separates Leeds United and Reading, and we've only scored 4 more goals. Obviously, we've got that defensive astuteness, which for me can get you promoted. Building from the back, having a solidarity at the back. We saw with Sheffield United last year. We've seen it with Burnley in past years. That gets you promoted. It does. That is the most important thing in a Championship side, having that defensive solidarity. For me, it's 100%. And if you get it right up front, you're onto a winner. But Leeds have that defensive solidarity, which is the reason we're 16 places above them. You look at that. We've only scored 4 more goals, but it's because we are so defensively good that, we're 16 places above. And if that doesn't reiterate my earlier point, I don't know what will. Now, since we've played, in our last 10 games against Reading, we've only lost 2 against them, and that was, one of them was on my birthday, which was fun and games. 1-0 at home. I remember that. Mo Barrow, thank you for that one. But yeah, and it's a good record down there. I think we'll win tonight. I do think we'll win tonight. I think it's going to be I'm going to go with a 2-0. I think it's going to be a similar performance to last year, if I'm brutally honest. I think we're going to dominate the game. I think Reading have had success, 100%, but I think we saw against Luton at the weekend, Leeds' fitness is just going to, I think they're going to fatigue on the 80th minute. That high press, that ability to keep up with Leeds' midfielders. Even though I criticised Klick's performance at the weekend, you're still seeing Klick getting into those bombing attacking positions in the, the 85th, 86th minute. and Leeds are just dominant in those positions. So it's going to be an interesting game, but we cannot take this lot lightly at all. I think they're a good team. They're a better team than Luton. But, you know, if Leeds United turn up on the day, I think we can do them. Let me know what you think in the comment sections below, guys. What do you think? Do you agree with what I've said? What do you think to the formation of 3-5-2? Do you think that's going to cause us any problems? Make sure you turn your notification bells on, as, you know, when you've subscribed to Leeds United as well. That little notification bell next to the subscribe button. We get a lot of people who watch our videos who are not subscribed, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in a bit.